One of the most brilliant things about being human is our ability to understand ourselves. But just because you're able to introspect doesn't mean you actually can. So let me guide you in that experience today. We're going to start by looking at the way your childhood mirrored your adult life, because having your life narrated back to you is one of the most honest acts you can ever engage in. There's a real reason why your life keeps repeating patterns, why you end up in similar relationships, why you struggle with the same habits, why you react in ways you swore you'd outgrow. And if you've ever wondered whether this is just who you are or whether something deeper is pulling your choices behind the scenes, this video is your beginning. Most people believe their problems exist only in the present. They think, I'm bad at relationships, I'm lazy, I'm unmotivated, I'm too sensitive, I'm avoidant, I'm anxious, I'm not enough. But struggles don't magically appear in adulthood. Just like a movie isn't made overnight, the identity you're living now was shaped across years of invisible rehearsal. When you panic over small inconvenience or shut down during conflict, that reaction isn't random. It's tied to an emotional pattern that once made sense in a very specific childhood environment. Psychologists call this environmental imprinting. I call this your set design. Children adapt to stories already running in the home. They're born into those stories. Those become the blueprint for how you interact with life now. Children don't interpret life logically. Time isn't processed linearly, so emotions don't become memories, they become stories. Sensory imprints that turn into patterns, shaping how you think, feel, and behave years later. If your home was tense, you learn to stay alert. If your emotions were minimized, you learn to go quiet. If conflict was normal, intensity became familiar. If peace was rare, calm now feels suspicious. This isn't about blaming your parents. They were just acting out their own scripts. But if you don't understand the emotional climate you were raised in, you'll keep mistaking nervous system reactions for personality traits. Everything in your early home shaped you. How mornings were handled, how messes were treated, how conflict was approached, how responsibility was modeled. All of this created procedural memory, the automatic unconscious script that you run without thinking. If your home was chaotic, structure now feels suffocating. If your home was rigid, mistakes now feel dangerous. If your home was inconsistent, motivation comes in bursts followed by burnout. None of this means you lack discipline. It means your subconscious is still following choreography and learned long before you could question it. Your parents' relationship was your first exposure to intimacy. How they treated each other showed you what love looks like under stress. How they treated you taught you what love requires. If affection was inconsistent, you chased closeness but fear abandonment. If love was conditional, you performed for approval. If conflict was explosive, intensity feels like connection. If emotional distance was normal, independence feels safer than vulnerability. You didn't just inherit their features, you inherited their scripts. Even the physical space taught your nervous system what home meant. Chaotic home teaches unpredictability. A highly controlled home teaches perfectionism. Environmental psychology shows that disorder or rigidity shapes lifelong stress patterns. Nothing from childhood disappears. It simply becomes the background scenery of the story you're living now. Children don't become who they are. They become what works. The helper, the achiever, the peacekeeper, the invisible one, these weren't personality traits. These were survival roles. Neuroscience shows that when authenticity threatens attachment, children learn to suppress the parts of themselves that feels unsafe. Families pass these roles down like heirlooms. Psychologists call this generational patterning. Mystics call this generational curses, but the result is the same. You learn the role before you learn yourself. Understanding your childhood doesn't fix everything, but it gives you something powerful. A choice. Rewriting the script doesn't mean rejecting your past. It means updating your understanding of it. You can change the past, not the events, but the meaning of them. And the meaning is what shapes identity. Once you understand your patterns, you stop mistaking them for fate. You don't have to keep living a story you didn't choose. I read the parts of your stories you can't see, so you can finally decide now how the next chapter unfolds.